Well, the other Democrat candidate I thought said something interesting this week was Kamala Harris, who responded to a question about prostitution in, I think, a shocking way, given her own history as the Attorney General who shut down the Backpage adult classifieds website in a kind of moralistic thing you'd expect to see out of a Bible Belt type attorney general, like Jeff Sessions, maybe, rather than a California elected official. But she shut down Backpage, or caused it to get shut down, to make political hay. Backpage was a website that basically prostitutes would advertise on. Believe it or not, it was actually a good thing for law enforcement because what it did was it offered a single place where they could go to investigate the worst of the things that occur around that commercial sex trade. So if you're looking for a runaway who may be prostituting herself or being prostituted by another, well, it's hard to drive around all the seedy back alleys in a certain city. But if all that traffic is on one website with photographs and you can see somebody's face, well, then you can pick them out. So anyway, law enforcement, actually, the sort of people on the street law enforcement, they thought it was a good thing, believe it or not. But the politicians, well, it was low-hanging fruit for her, and she got to be a hero, in spite of the fact that for the experts in the field, many will tell you that the closure of Backpage has actually led to an increase in people being victimized and prostituted, and also for the use of minors. It was easier to see and tell who was exploiting minors when it was out in the open. Sunlight. Who'd have thunk it? Was it last week or maybe the week before? I played you the clip where she laughed at her election challenger, or the reporter who asked her about her election challenger's agreement that marijuana should be treated like alcohol. And of course, now she's proudly proclaiming her Jamaican heritage and smoking a spliff to... And while I love her position on the drug war now, because I believe it is completely insincere of any conviction and just said for craven political purposes, I'm trepidatious about jumping in to support for her on that front. Well, here she goes again with a very libertarian position, this time reversing herself completely on sex work. Now, again, there are people in prison today because Kamala Harris put them there because of weed, and she now says that weed should be legal. Well, here she is on prostitution.
Do you think that sex work ought to be decriminalized?
I think so. I do.
I spoke with an academic who does and has written widely on sex trafficking and prostitution crimes in America this week for a piece I'm going to do on the Robert Kraft story. And this person was just gobsmacked that Kamala Harris has gone. I mean, it's like, how to describe it? It's like if Bull Connor became president of the NAACP. And maybe if you're too young for that reference, it's like a vegan becoming a butcher.